So of all the different criticism of Chuck Hagel for defense secretary, my favorite is that he is anti-gay. Now, at one point, Chuck Hagel did say something that was wrong, and he has since apologized for it, retracted it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a funny quote. I mean, it's funny in how stupid it was. He said that James Hormel, who was a nominee for ambassador for Bill Clinton, was, quote, openly and aggressively gay. I don't know how you're aggressively gay. Like, am I aggressively straight? I mean, you just take people on and just wrestle them in the streets? What is aggressively gay? So that was a dumb thing to say, and as I said, he's apologized for it. And that was 14 years ago. Now, if it was progressives criticizing him for that, well, you can say, hey, listen, these guys care about gay rights, etc. No, it's Republicans who are now all of a sudden like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy's against gay rights. Are you kidding me? After your entire party has been opposing gay rights this whole time. Now, to be fair, the log cabin Republicans are the gay Republicans. They've been in favor of gay rights. They say they are outraged. They are shocked and chagrined. By the way, the same guys who supported John McCain, Sarah Palin, Mitt Romney, all the people who were 100 times more anti-gay than Chuck Hagel. But their executive director, R. Clark Cooper, says the LCR, the log cabin Republicans, is particularly concerned about Chuck Hagel as a potential defense secretary because of the role he would play in continuing to oversee the implementation of open service of the military. Oh, they are concerned. Oof, man. Boy, are they concerned. All right. In fact, they're so concerned, they took out a full-page New York Times ad saying that Chuck Hagel, because he's anti-gay, should not be the Secretary of Defense. You know that costs over $100,000? That's a giant amount of money. Well, what's also interesting is that same R. Clark Cooper, who is so against Hagel that he took out a $100,000 ad against him, just a couple of months ago said this. I recall working with Senator Chuck Hagel and his staff during the Bush administration, and he was certainly not shy about expressing his criticisms, but despite his criticisms, Hagel voted with us most of the time, and there was no question he was committed to advancing America's interests abroad. As for his nomination to be Secretary of Defense, it is well worth noting that Senator Hagel is a combat veteran who has hands-on experience in the field. The battlefield is not just theory for him. What? So that is an incredibly supportive quote about Chuck Hagel. So why did a guy who totally supported Hagel all of a sudden change and run $100,000 ads against him? Could it be that maybe he got paid to do that? So now Glenn Greenwald looks into it a little bit, and he says, well, this is kind of curious. So he asked the log cabin Republicans, hey, where did you get that money to run that New York Times ad? This is awesome. Quote, the group's executive director, R. Clark Cooper, confirmed that LCR did not pay for the ad out of its existing funds. Rather, he said the ad campaign is being funded by a number of donors. And that's how this game is played. It has nothing to do with his so-called anti-gay positions. Chuck Hagel is opposed because the right-wing neoconservatives believe he's not sufficiently a right-wing Republican on the issue of Israel. He must be defeated at all costs. In other avenues, they're calling him an anti-Semite. They're calling him weak. They're calling him soft. And now in this case, they're saying, progressives, will you look at this? And we care so much about gay rights, and I think this guy might be anti-gay. Oh, please. Now, who's behind this? Well, Politico, in a separate article, had a long piece about Bill Kristol, who is a top neocon in the country. He runs the Weekly Standard, the Bible of the neoconservatives. He's on Fox News Channel. And they had this interesting quote. One Kristol-linked group, the Emergency Committee for Israel, is planning a substantial paid media campaign opposing the nomination of Chuck Hagel. Now, we don't know that it was the Kristol group for sure that wound up funding the New York Times ad. We do know it was not the log cabin Republicans, and it was very likely not people who are concerned about his gay rights record at all, but are concerned about other things. This is how a dirty smear job gets started, and it gets started oftentimes by right-wing money that has a completely different purpose than the one they're telling you.